Hi everyone, my name's Anam. I'm going to be going into my final year soon for studying psychology at the University of Manchester. So today I'm just going to talk a bit about prospectuses and how to use them. So when deciding a course and university to study at, it's a really big decision. So you need to make sure that you probably research all the options you have and look at all the different universities and courses available. So some of you might have heard of what a prospectus is. So for those of you that haven't, I'm going to explain a bit about what a prospectus is. So this is what a prospectus is. So it's basically a booklet that contains a lot of information about the university itself and the courses it has to offer. So it also will have general information a bit about what the city is like, accommodation services and other things that you can get involved with at the university. So when you start applying for universities and higher education, again, like I said before, it's really important that you research everything about the course in the university. And one way to do that is by using prospectuses. So it's likely that they will become your best friend when you start to apply for universities. So one thing to remember is that all prospectuses are basically similar. They all contain information about the university and the courses. But they may be set out differently. So today we're going to be looking at this one here by the University of Manchester. So for us, the first part of our booklet will basically just give a bit of an overview of the university and what it's like. Again, also general information about the university. So one thing to remember is with prospectuses, you can easily pick up a hard copy like this at open days, and you can also download an online version, most likely through university websites. So prospectuses also contain a lot of information about different course units. So I'm just going to share my screen now and show you different course units there are. So here's the prospectuses. So again, like I mentioned at the start, it would be lots of information about the university and what Manchester's like. And then later on, it will have information about course units. You can also use the contents page at the start to help you search for a particular course unit you're looking for. So most course units, so they're likely to be organised in different ways for different universities. So for some, most universities may choose to display their course units in alphabetical order, and some may choose to organise them in different groups, so perhaps in science subjects and then perhaps humanities subjects. Another thing is also important to remember that not every university will do every course. So for example, some courses such as veterinary science, there'll only be a few universities that do that in the UK. So it's important that the university you're applying for or you're wanting to apply for does do the course that you're wanting to study. So we're just going to go through some of the subjects here. So I'm just going to show you a bit about the subjects shown in this prospectus. So first we're going to look at psychology. So again, the way that this prospectus is laid out is here at the start, I'll have a bit of information about what the course is like. So psychology is basically the scientific study of the mind, brain, and behavior. It will also have information about study methods here, for example, so lectures, seminars, and practical classes. So it's really important that you look at the study methods as well, because everyone has their own different learning styles. So it's good to choose a course that would fit and match the type of learning style that you have. It will also have, for example, here it has information about placements that you can do. And then also down here, it has information about the careers and skills you will gain. Here on the right, it has some like facts. So here it says that for this psychology degree at the university, it's in the top 10 universities. And then here you can see it says for a complete list of courses including our entry requirements, we need to look at the back of the prospectus for this one. So for some universities, they might have the entry requirements labelled here, but for this one, we need to go to the back of the prospectus. So let's do that now. Okay, so here we're at the back of the prospectus. Psychology is labelled here. So entry requirements are basically what educational qualifications you need in order to get onto that course. So here for A-level requirements, you need to have at least AAB, and if you look here more towards the right, it has extra information about the particular type of A-levels they're looking for. So here it says to study psychology at university, you need to have at least a biology, chemistry, physics, maths, or psychology A-level. And down here it also has a bit of information about GCSE. So here it says that you need at least a grade 6, including English and maths for GCSEs. So now we are going to look at a different subject. So that's archaeology. So again, it's the same layout. It has a bit of information about what the course is about here, more information about field work that you'll be a part of. Again, study methods, that's really important to look at. And then also careers and skills that you would gain from doing this degree. So again, here has a little notice saying that if you want to see the entry requirements for this course, you need to go to the back of the prospectus. So we are just going to do that again. Okay, so here, archaeology, here it says the A-level requirements are ABB. And if you go more here towards the right, unlike psychology, this one doesn't have any particular A-level subjects it's looking for. So it's likely that you can study this degree with any A-levels as long as you have the grades ABB. If you do look here on the left column, there are different subjects that you can do archaeology with. So there's ancient history and archaeology. You can do it with anthropology, and there's also film studies. So it's really important that you, again, research all the type of different options that are available to you. If there's two subjects that you really like, a university might do a joint degree of them subjects together. So again, it's just really important that you do your research and you find the course that is best suited to you. So now we're just going to look at one final subject. And that's computer science. So here, computer science, it's named computer science for this university, but in other universities, they might call it something like information technology. So again, it's really important that you make sure you do your research properly. So again, it's the same layout, a bit about why you should study this course at Manchester, study methods and careers. So for example, if you study computer science here at Manchester, it's likely that you could be a software engineer, or that you'll have the skills in order to be a software engineer. If you also look here down at the bottom, it does also have some social media accounts here that you can follow if you're interested in this subject. And here on the right, it does also include a little bit of explanation if you may be interested in different subjects that are related to this. So it's also good to look at the section if you are a bit unsure of what you want to study. It would also give other recommendations of courses you should look at. So again, here it does mention that we need to look at the back of the prospectus to find the entry requirements. So here, the entry requirements for computer science are A star AA, and if you go down more here to the right, again, it will have certain information. So for example, you will need an A star in maths if you wanted to study this subject at university. So that's basically all about how to use a prospectus. One thing to notice is that this prospectus just mostly included A-level subjects. Universities will also accept other qualifications such as a BTEC. So there's just a lot of space in the prospectus to include all the qualifications that you can have to study that degree. So in order to find more information about the different qualifications you need, if you go onto the university website and search on their course pages, you should be able to find more information. Another thing is that some prospectuses may not use entry requirements, and instead they might use something called UCAS points. So I'm just going to share my screen again to show you a bit about UCAS points. So basically UCAS points, so each qualification you get is basically equivalent to UCAS points. So here we can see that if you received a grade B in an A level, that would be equivalent to 40 UCAS points. And that is also here for BTECs as well. So for example, if you got 3 distinctions, that would be equivalent to 144 UCAS points. So there would be universities that require maybe a certain number of UCAS points instead of certain A levels. So that's how that works if that's the case. So that will also give you the opportunity to maybe even do A level and BTECs, like a mix of them. So I think that's all of it today, mostly about how to use prospectuses. So I hope this has given you more information about how to research your options when you get round to it in the future. And that's it. So all the best, stay safe, and goodbye from me.